Alright. Is it already rolling? Okay. Hey guys, I'm with Illy Cafe. How much do you guys already know a little bit about Illy? Not much?
Not that much, yeah.
Okay. A little bit of history, okay. Illy was founded in 1933. The founder of Illy was a chemist who loved coffee. Without him, there would be no modern day espresso machine. Okay, so Illy has a lot of history. Okay, we care a lot about our coffee, a lot about our quality, and customer service. Okay, so saying that, I want to talk a little bit about coffee in general. Do you guys know the difference between Arabica beans and Robusto beans? There's only two coffee beans, right? Well, Arabica is what you want for coffee. Everyone who makes coffee only does Arabica, but we do 100% Arabica. And then there's Robusto beans, okay? Arabica beans grow directly on the equator, up in the hills. They're small, very low in caffeine, have a lot of flavor to it, and that's why you want that for coffee. Robusto beans you don't want for coffee. They're big, they're high in caffeine, there's not much good flavor to it. So saying that, Illy, we only do 100% Arabica beans. Now, there's different qualities of Arabica beans and Robusto beans. High quality, low quality. We only choose the 10% of highest quality Arabica beans. Okay? So saying that, I'm going to talk about our blend. Okay? Illy, and not just Illy, but coffee in general changes throughout the year because of climate, you know, agriculture, all of that. So this is how we preserve our profile, our taste, you know, how, you know, the go-to why everyone goes to Illy. So we, our coffee that you drink has a 9-bean blend, 9 beans, so 9 different countries of origin. Most people only do 1 or maybe 4, but it's very, very hard, very difficult to do 9 different countries. And what we do is we look at the growth of the different countries that we pick up our beans from. Say Ethiopia is doing well. Okay, you're doing good this year, we're gonna take a lot of your beans. Brazil, you're not doing so good, well, we're only gonna take a little bit of your beans. So every year the beans change, but we mix and match and roast the beans to always have the same profile. Okay, so even though the amount of beans change, you know, all of that, we always have the same profile. That's the one thing about Illy, that everyone recognizes us. So what that means is you can have a coffee here, and then you could go to Canada or Europe, and it'll taste the same. But as long as you prepare it right, as long as you know clean the machines right, and preparation and maintenance is a big, big, big thing. Okay, so saying all that, we're gonna go ahead and go into some of your equipment, some of your machines and whatnot. This is one of your brewers, okay? There's 3 very, very important things when it comes to the coffee brewers, okay? And that is the spray head, the filter basket, and then the coffee urn, okay? Do you guys know what Cafiza is? Yeah, to clean. So it's very important that we use Cafiza every night to clean the machines, you know, not just for health reasons, you know, even though that's a big thing, but mainly for quality, okay? So one thing we do is, with Cafiza, how you use Cafiza is you put in a filter, throw a little bit of Cafiza in, and all you gotta do is brew.
We have the beans. Beans are okay, right?
Beans?
Beans.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's perfect.
I have it in there.
Yep. And it's very easy. All you have to do is brew, and as the hot water hits the Cafiza, it cleans the filter basket, it cleans the spray head, and then it also runs off into here and it cleans the urn. And after you Cafiza, wipe it down, you know, rinse out the inside of this, and then what we're gonna do is, after the whole cleaning process, we're gonna fill up these with hot water. It's very important that we preheat the containers, because if we don't, let's say this is cold right now, right? Is there any, there's nothing in it? So if you brew coffee in here right now, it's only gonna stay good up to an hour and 30 minutes. That's it. you know, because
Okay.
you know, if it's not hot and then the hot coffee gets in there, it's gonna cool down the temperature, right? Makes sense, honey, you know. So every night after we clean and confuse it, just go ahead and brew it, and then let the hot water sit in there, you know, until the next morning, or in this case afternoon, whatever, you know, so that it stays warm. Because if it stays warm and if it's preheated, then it'll stay good up to 2 to 3 hours. Okay? Makes sense?
Yeah, yeah,
All right, so there's that. One thing I always like to add is, I want you to watch right now real quick. What I'm doing is I'm taking off the spray head. Now these are known to build with calcium, okay? If you're ever not getting the accurate quantity of coffee, let's say you do a full brew, but you're only getting a quarter, you know, you're not getting the right quantity, is because there's calcium that builds up in those holes. So every now and then, take a paper clip, poke it out, you know, and you just always want to make sure that this is clean. Like I said, 3 important things when it comes to brewed coffee is the spray head, the filter basket, and the urn. Okay? And just as easy as I took it off, I can put it right back on. Very simple, very quick, very easy. So, any questions about coffee?
Oh yes, so we have the machine upstairs. It's kind of grinder, the automatic. So what is the amount of water we should put for every shot of the grinder?
The amount of water?
Yeah.
So, the one thing with this machine, and you know what? Actually, let's go upstairs and I'm gonna show you something. All right. So, we talked about the brewer, and you know, side and side with the brewer is the grinds. Like I said, I talked a little bit about the quality of our coffee earlier, right? The one thing with us, we're very, you know, very particular on the quality. That's why we send you whole beans to grind up and all that. You know our tins, right? Do you guys know how to open the tins?
It has a plastic.
Yep, a little cracker that you use to open the tins. Okay. I'm gonna talk a little bit about our packaging. So, typical coffee, vacuum sealed packaging, right? And in bag, stays good, you know, maybe 4 months, 6 months, all that. Our tins can stay good up to 2 to 3 years, okay? And that's because they're pressurized. And one of the reasons why they're pressurized is because when we're talking about coffee, all right, all the flavor comes from the oils, the natural oils and sugars and acidity in the coffee, okay? And to preserve that, we pressurize it. So the oils are, you know, they stay trapped in the bean. You know, coffee is very sensitive. The sun affects the coffee, the humidity affects the coffee, all of that. So when we pressurize those cans, you know, it contains the oil. We're always trying to think about preserving the oil of the coffee. So saying that, if you open one of those tins, you have to put the white rubber seal back on, and if you close it, they could stay good up to 2 weeks, okay? So once you open it, you only have 2 weeks, you know, and then remember to keep the white tab on, okay? All of that. So when you think about coffee, think about oil, like coffee bean, think about the oils, okay? And saying that, you know, that the brewer downstairs, all that residue is basically oil, you know, and we're always trying to clean up excess oil so that oil won't affect the taste of fresh coffee that's being brewed. Makes sense, right? So one of the ways I could explain this and kind of help you think about it a little bit is, if you look in here, there'll be a little bit of residual oil that will build up on the inside. This is very clean right now, but over time, it'll get oily, it'll get dark, and you'll see it in there. So one thing about maintenance with the grinder, because the grinder is very, very important, is we always want to clean the oil, okay? So take a dry rag and wipe on the inside, clean the oil. Don't use soap, don't use a wet rag, just dry rag and wipe off the oil. Saying that, so we're always trying to preserve the quality of our coffee, right? So we only want to use a certain amount of coffee that we're going to use for the day. So for example, you think we're going to use all this coffee today?
No.
No, definitely not, right? So we should start filling up as much as we're going to use for the day. You know, instead of filling it all the way up, you know, making it look good, just put in a little bit. You know, and because what we want to do is we want to keep it in the tins for as long as possible. The more that we pop the tin, open it up, we pour it out in here, you know, it's getting, the coffee bean is being oxidized. You guys know about wine, right? And once you open a bottle, it's only good for, you know, a day, if that, you know, a day, 2 days. So it's the same exact thing with coffee, same thing. So only filling up for the day. Try to wipe off the oils. Also under here, there's a little, you know, where it grinds and everything. Try to wipe it off dry too, because you see this coffee coming out a little bit. So you always want to clean that as well. So that's basically it as far as maintenance for the grinder and then the brewer. One thing, to get back talking about like the quantity and everything, this is programmed for the brewer and the brewer is programmed for this. So when you grind, it will give you the exact amount for the brewer, and then when the brewer brews coffee, it will give you the perfect exact amount. So it's very, very easy to brew coffee. All you have to do is grind and then brew. Very, very simple. It's already programmed for you guys. So
With that one,
yeah. So it's already like pre-programmed. So if anything, you guys don't really have to necessarily think about it, you know. And if you feel like it's less than what it normally typically is, you know, it's usually a maintenance issue. So what you want to do is you want to clean the spray heads and all that, try to get the calcium out of there, because that would be the one thing that would be blocking up. Also clean under here, because sometimes the grinds don't come out fully, you know. So maintenance is always a very, very big, very important thing. Any other questions?
Yeah, what we mean, like how many hours of water?
How many ounces of water?
To be specific. Yeah.
That's a good question. I think that urn downstairs is either 1.9 liters or 2 liters, around there. Yeah. I would have to look at the specifications, but you know, so you have about, you know, 2 liters of coffee. You know, it's not a full gallon, but 2 liters is fine. You know. Yep. All right. Any other questions as far as coffee roasts and all that? No? No questions about dark roast, the medium roast, or decaf? No questions about that?
What's the name of your dark roast?
What's the name of the dark roast?
Yeah.
I mean, scuro is basically dark in Italian.
Okay.
But, you know, just dark roast coffee.
The light one, what name is it? The light?
The light one, we do scuro normale, which is medium, and then decaf, which I don't know the name
So
of
maybe you
decaf.
have dark and medium.
So you guys have dark and medium? I think you guys only do dark. When it comes to coffee, you know, you want to stay towards dark. Dark is very good. It's got bold flavor and all that. You can do medium if you want, but that's more for, you know, like a wine. Yeah. Yeah. Like, for example, decaf. You know, not many people are always going to come and get decaf. So to, you know, save money and all that, sometimes, you know, you do it, do it not, you know. And if you do it, just brew like low quantities of it, so you don't brew this big batch and end up wasting decaf if, you know, you only get like 5 or 10 decaf orders, you know.
Yeah, that's why, you know, over in the cafe we choose to actually buy decaf espresso, since
Yes.
you can actually manage the amount of drinks that you can make out of decaf.
Yes.
Because if it's just a plain coffee, like you said in the beginning, we were only selling like a couple of cups, like not even a day. Like a week, I would probably sell like five or six cups of decaf.
Decaf, yeah.
And keeping all this bunch of bags.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. You guys aren't the only ones, and actually, as a matter of fact, some cafes, you know, just to like kind of get around that, you know. Do you know what Americanos are? Yeah.
I do.
Offer a decaf Americano or offer a decaf espresso, you know, and all that. That's kind of some of the ways to get around it. Our decaf espresso is amazing too, and sometimes, you know, people love to just get that espresso. So, you know, if you offer that to somebody, I couldn't possibly see them saying no. You know.
You have to check in the cafe if we have those to charge for the decaf espresso. I have to check. We have two different kinds. One is cream and one is red.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
the other
And
one
green
is
is decaf. And, yep. All right. Any other questions? No. No. All right. Now we're gonna go to the cafe. And this is where it kind of gets tricky.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna try to make this quick, guys, because I know that you guys have work. So we're gonna like focus on maintenance. Any information that you guys want to know as far as like espresso and all that, we'll get to it. This, by the way, is our Illy coffee bar manual, okay? This has all the information that I've covered so far, like, you know, history, information, our coffee roasts and profiles of our coffee, like our dark, medium, decaf roasts. All of that is in here. And also information on how to work the machines, how to run the machines, preparation, you know, the recipes of our drinks, all of that is in here. I'm going to be sending this to you guys, so if you ever have any questions, concerns, you could always look through here. All right. So saying that, we're going to pull this out, and we're going to get to one of the first things that I start off with the cafe. When you're getting ready to make, you guys are making coffee in the morning, right? Yeah? So when you're making coffee in the morning, it's always, you know, a grind to get ready for everything. And this is a checklist for the morning, and then this is a checklist for at night. This covers everything that you would need in order to get ready for the morning. Like, for example, cups are ready. Your tools, hey, how's it going? Good. Good. Your tools are ready, like pitchers, okay, brushes, all of that. Your espresso, is your espresso ready? Okay, perfect. Espresso is ready. Also, one thing I will say about this is that, so let's say we're not using the espresso. These are our capsules, by the way. We have, you know, coffee in here. We have over 7 or 9 different patents just on this, so it pours out perfect every time. It cuts half the maintenance of beans and grinder and all that. Even though that this is capped, okay, we still want to preserve the quality of it. So if you're not using it and you're done, close the bag just like this, and you know, stay there, put a little clip on it, or you could get like a Ziploc bag to hold all the caps in, because once it's open, remember, coffee oxidizes, so it loses quality over time and all that. Okay, so we're gonna go through the checklist. The machine is on, running,
You listen to guys, listen,
good to go.
because you guys didn't teach other people.
Coffee, the containers are preheated, you know, so once we put the coffee in, it's good to go. The hoppers, instead of having leftover beans, fill it with fresh beans, you know, all that's good to go. Floor, that's all you guys, all that. Prep area is clean. Tools are ready, like I said earlier. Pitcher, tamper, you guys don't need tamper, but brush. My biggest thing, more than anything else, is always have a rag for this. Okay, so you wipe it off afterwards so it stays clean.
Yeah, but
Ooh,
it's-
rag, perfect.
It's supposed to be like wet or something.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's good. See, you guys are already set and ready. Paper supplies are good to go. Like cups, all of that, everything. Sleeves, you know, all that's good to go. Sugars are all set up and ready. Spoons, saucers are good to go. Porcelain cups, so on and so forth. All that's good. Also, test the machine as well. Pour a shot of espresso in the morning for yourself. You know, try it out. Make sure that it's good and it's ready to go. All right.
I usually let my head espresso head let it run for like 10-15 seconds.
Oh yeah.
To just to refresh the pipes a little bit before
Yeah.
making the first drinks, because overnight, I mean, there might still be some stain inside the pipes.
Yeah.
Even when you clean it, you know, I mean, the espresso part is really fine. Of course, it's not like yours is the cap. Ours is, I mean, the regular
Yeah.
espresso thing that we have to keep the pipes. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah. It's fairly the same thing with this, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, this is half the maintenance, which is what makes it awesome. Because this is fairly easy, simple to clean. I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna start off with the closing checklist. Okay. Clean brewers, like we talked about with Kafiza and all that. Empty all the urns and containers, anything with coffee. Wipe down everything. Empty the hoppers. If there's still a little bit of coffee left over, try to put it back into the tin and close it up so it preserves that, you know, that coffee. Clean ones, all that. What I suggest for the people who close, try to get all the paper, the sugars, try to stock everything for the person in the morning. Because it's like a team effort, you know? It just makes it easier for that morning barista. Because you're tired, you're coming in, and it's like, oh, I gotta pull out cups and all that. So try to help him out, and then at the same time, whoever's opening in the morning before you leave your shift, try to clean everything up and get it ready for the person in the afternoon. And if you do that, it becomes a cycle and you end up becoming best friends. Okay? So saying that, we were talking about this. I think you guys know we're stocking and all that stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and go on to maintenance, which is very important for this machine. Okay? Maintenance, super, super easy, very, very simple. When you're done with the day, you're gonna have this little white cap. Okay? And what you're gonna do is, Kafiza, you have tablets or you have powder, but you guys have tabs. So you're gonna put a tablet in here, all right?
Tablet?
A tab. So can you grab the Kafiza just so you guys could see it?
I think Lulu, you know.
Uh huh. So you guys can kind of see what it looks like, and so you know what I'm talking about when I say Kafiza. How long is that video going on for now?
23 minutes.
33 minutes?
23.
23?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Nice.
You're gonna kill the memory on your phone.
It's so fun.
Alright, that's fine. We can also look in here. Like I said, this has everything in it. So I'm gonna show you guys something. Kafiza, very, very important. You guys are also doing iced tea. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, tabs is for iced tea. Are you guys doing our iced tea? Or no? Do you guys...
Already here.
Can,
Huh?
can iced tea. So.
No? Oh, can I see? Okay.
Yeah.
Then we don't need to worry about that. Rinza, this is a very special solution for the steaming one, okay? But Kafiza, we're gonna go back to this and focus on this first. Kafiza is very important for these machines. It's like a, not a degreaser, but it's a special soap solution specifically meant for coffee, okay? Saying that, you're gonna take the Kafiza and you'll have little tabs of it. You just put one tab in here, you close it up, you stick it in here, put it in the machine, all right? And then you run it.
Yeah, it feels like kind of loose, but it's not
yeah.
loose.
It's not?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's weird.
Yeah, when I fixed the first espresso, I mean, what?
Yeah.
I wasn't really according with the number.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like really tight, right?
With this machine, yes and no.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure that it's pressured.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, the water came out a little bit. It's because it's not fully
That's right.
Tight.
pressured, you know. So anyway, as I'm showing you now, you start the machine, you could hear it, okay? Let it run for 10 seconds, okay? After it runs for 10 seconds, okay? Turn it off, let it sit for 5 seconds. And then, after 5 seconds, run it again for 10 seconds. And that's one cycle. And what you want to do is do 4 to 5 cycles, okay? And what it's doing is it's cleaning the inside and all that. Once you're done with all of that, take out the cap, all right? And you can look inside it. Right now, this is really, really clean. Very, very clean machine. But you'll see some coffee and all that. Rinse it out with water, get all the soap solution out, close it back up, and then run it again. Exactly what I'm doing now is
You put any? I'm so sorry. You put anything inside the cap?
Cafiza.
The Cafiza pills, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then after you run the Cafiza pills, run it with water afterwards, just to kind of make sure that it's all good and clean.
Yeah.
So once you're done with all of that, put a shot of espresso in it, and then run espresso in the morning. So after you Cafiza it at night, when you come in the morning, remember I said check the machines, make sure it's running. Take an espresso. Don't drink the first one, but just run it through, just to make sure that it's running and that the oils kind of take out any leftover soap that may be in there. Okay, makes sense? So saying that, all right, we're gonna go ahead and get to espresso. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're making espresso, you want to put the cap in here, and you just put it in. You do 1 for 1 shot, 2 for 2 shots. Okay, makes sense, right? Huh?
One capsule can do 2 shots.
We like to say 1 capsule does 1 shot, you know? So try to, if you're doing double shot, it's just better quality just to do 1 and then do another. Okay? So, and then I'll find out for sure later too again actually. But that's what I do, and that's what I suggest to people. With the steam one, we're gonna go ahead and we'll start working on milk a little bit. Do you have 2 pitchers?
Yeah, we
Just this
have
one?
This one.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Is there a sink back here? Okay.
Thanks so much. I'll see you like in 15
First things for, or well, actually, let's talk about the Rinza. Remember the other cleaning solution I showed you? The blue one? Yep. I want to talk about the Rinza real quick. With Rinza, you put it in the pitcher, you stick it in here, and you steam. Okay? And then you stop, let it kind of suck back up in there for a second, and then you steam again. And then you let it stop, and then after that, blow it out for a little bit, you know, just to kind of clean it good. And then once you're done with all that, you know, make sure you wipe it down. All right, so I want to make this quick. We don't have too much time left. Let's go over the drink menu. What's espresso?
1 shot of
1 shot, okay. Or, you know, the espresso is the natural oils of the coffee. You know, that's what kind of differentiates espresso from filtered coffee, okay? Imagine, or, well, you know what, never mind. So that's espresso, okay? Double espresso, and then we're gonna go to, what, Americano. What's Americano?
Espresso with water.
With hot water. Yep. And when you're making an Americano, what comes first?
espresso, hot water, espresso.
Hot water, and then pour the espresso on top. Okay? So the reason why, this is a very, very important thing. Okay? Do you know that brown layer on top of the espresso, do you know what that's called? Creme. It's called creme. Means cream. You know? The creme is the natural oils of the espresso. And it floats almost on top of the espresso. As the espresso pours, the whole thing is almost creme for a minute, but over time, after a couple seconds, okay, the creme will slowly rise to the top. You see that?
No.
The brown on top, that's creme. So, if I were making an Americano and if I poured hot water over it, okay, it's gonna wash away that creme, okay? But if I pour the espresso on top of the hot water, it preserves some of it, you know? And so that's why it's always better to pour the espresso on top.
And we use this size or which size should we use?
For an Americano, so an Americano can really be any size. What matters is the amount of shots you put into it. So, you know, if they ask for a 1-shot Americano, you could make a 12-ounce 1-shot Americano. Or a 2-shot Americano, you could make a 12-ounce 2-shot Americano. It's all about the shot. You're charging per shot. You're not going to charge them for hot water. You know? Makes sense?
Yeah.
And same with the espresso, you know? There's no quantity of it. It all comes in the same size. This is the size of 1 shot, you know? And then there would be 2 shots. It's the same size, so you're just charging per shot. You know what else you charge per shot? Macchiato. Do you know what macchiato is? No? So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move over to milk real quick. Do you have any milk?
We do have, I think. Not yet. Half and half? Not right.
Half and half is fine. I'm just going to show you really, really quick. So I want you to watch how I froth real quick, just to get, you know, a good habit. I'm only going to use a little bit of milk. Have you ever tried making cappuccinos yet? Okay. Wipe off the wands. Tap, tap, tap. Spin, spin, spin. And then really, really quick. That's a macchiato.
Oh, like cappuccino?
Not like cappuccino. It's the same froth. Do you know what froth is? So the foam that's in here is froth, not foam, but froth. And it's the same froth, but just a dollop, just a little bit. Macchiato, what it means in Italian is spot, you know? And I've heard from other people that it means dollop, you know? And so imagine that, just little quick dollop. Would anyone want to try?
I went like you know,
Here, try it.
milk again.
So you could tell the difference between these specialty drinks is the density, is, you know, the taste. The ratio of milk to coffee means a lot, you know.
Yeah, this is some milk on it.
All right, perfect. So,
But we're not gonna use this one.
Huh?
We're not gonna use this one.
so yeah, we don't use this. So if someone comes and they ask you for cappuccino, latte, whatever, what's the milk that you use? Primary milk that you use? Do you know? Whole milk. Always whole milk. Unless they say otherwise. But if someone's like, oh, can I have a cappuccino? You're not going to be like, would you like decaf? Would you like half calf? Would you like half and half? Would you like skim, non-fat? You're not going to say all that. They're just going to say cappuccino. Okay, caffeinated, whole milk. That's it. Unless they say, can I have a skim cappuccino, 2%, so on and so forth, right? Okay. So let's go over the espresso-based drinks one more time real quick. There's espresso. There's Americano. You know what that is, right?
Macchiato.
All right. I'm trying to think what else. This should be good for now. Now we're going to move into the milk. There's macchiato. which is this, what you saw. Now you guys know how to make it. Okay. And then there's cappuccino and latte. All right. Very, very important things. What's the difference?
Latte is like more milk.
More milk,
Yeah.
less froth, right?
Less what?
Less froth. Foam. Less, yeah.
okay.
And cappuccino is more froth, less milk, right? So for Illy standards, cappuccino is half and half, 50-50. 50% froth, 50% liquid. The reason being why for cappuccino is because when a customer is drinking a cappuccino, every sip for at least until the half of the cup should taste like froth and coffee, That's the reason why for cappuccino. Okay? For latte,
See you next time. Thank you.
it's about 20-80, 30-70. Okay? A little bit of froth, but mainly milk and coffee. Okay? So they get the taste of a little taste of froth, but mainly milk and coffee. Milk and coffee makes sense, right? So, do we have whole milk?
Lulu.
We can buy it.
Yeah, I can go to the
No, take from the coffee.
Yeah, take from it.
bakery.
They have it.
Just 2 seconds. Not 2 minutes.
I don't want to take up too much time, so I'm just going to show you with half and half real quick.
Customer.
Okay, guys. So we're going to learn about frothing, okay? Steam 1, we always want to purge it first, okay? Because I want you to look at this. When we purge it, there's going to be a little bit of water that comes out first. So we want to leave it for a minute so we know we get nice dry steam. You see the white coming out of there? That's good dry steam, okay? So we want to purge it, make sure that we get good dry steam. I'm going to put my milk in here, all right? I'm going to leave the whole... Imagine blowing bubbles in your chocolate milk, okay? That's kind of what we're doing. So what we're gonna do is, when we do that, imagine my finger as a steam 1, and imagine this as a layer of milk. We don't wanna go all the way because we wanna blow air into the milk. And if we submerge it, we're not catching any air to blow into the milk, right? And the milk is gonna scream, ah! And that's how you could tell you're not doing it right, okay? We don't want it all the way up because it's gonna blow the milk out of the pitcher. And then your bubbles will be too big. And that's not the right way to do. So what we wanna do is we wanna leave it right
Like just this.
right in the line of the milk, okay? And as we froth, we're gonna hear a right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slowly pull the pitcher downwards as we froth. But we wanna leave the head into the froth. So imagine me dropping down my pitcher, but it's gonna go like, and then it's gonna froth up. And with cappuccino, we wanna go half. We wanna go more than half of what we just did. So for example, and I'll even, so you guys can see, this is for a cappuccino, so 1 shot, press the button.
Oh, we got that.
Perfect. Is this whole milk?
Yes, I think.
Fat-free skim milk.
Is that whole milk?
It's skim.
Rojo.
That's okay.
You bought it?
Did you buy it? Oh, okay.
That's okay.
So I should bring another one?
I'm just gonna do half and half. So I want you to look at where the milk is in here, okay?
Like this.
Right, so I always mentally, I measure from here. From right at the bottom of this lip.
Oh.
And I think there. Cappuccino is around half, okay?
So that's
and what I'm
the
gonna do is, I'm gonna raise it halfway, right? So, how I'm gonna do that, we have our espresso, I'm gonna prime it, I'm gonna leave it in. So I'm gonna run it. All right.
So I'll take inside.
When I hold on, let me move this. Get up there. All right. So you're gonna watch me. I'm gonna turn it on all the way. So imagine my pitcher. I'm gonna turn it on, and then I'm gonna take this hand, and I'm gonna hold my pitcher, and then I'm just gonna drop it slowly, very, very slowly. Okay. This hand is gonna feel the temperature, you know, as I drop it slowly. Now I want you to look. This is at an angle, right? I'm gonna leave my pitcher flat. And when it hugs up against the side of the wall, it's gonna make the milk spin. So I want you to watch how I did it. I primed it. I'm gonna turn it on. And then you hear that sound. And I'm gonna just slowly drop. And that's all I'm doing. And I feel it, and now it's hot, right? So now, and then after I'm done, I wipe it and I purge it again. So what I'm gonna do is tap, 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 takes out all the bubbles on top. You see how it looks like wet paint? You want it to look just like that. Tap, 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 spin, spin, spin. We spin it because we want the whole thing to be consistent froth. If the bubbles are too big, it's not gonna taste like the whole thing's consistent, okay? If the bubbles are too small, it's gonna be wet still, you know? So you're trying to find, you know, that good placement of the froth. And like I said, 50-50, right? All right, so I'm gonna pour a cappuccino. I go tall, so the milk sinks. I go around the cup. I give it a second.
Wow.
And then I go in, all right? And I'll show you how I pour that later if you like. Keep in mind this is with half and half, so my oat's not that good. So I also take out the cap. One thing is when you pour shots, try to take out the cap right away. Because if it's in there for too long, you'll burn, you know, and it'll kind of get stuck and all that.
So that's what
This one cappuccino.
This? Cappuccino. Yep. So after I'm done making my drink, you see all this? It's not good to have all this milk still left over, so I go and rinse it, get ready for my next drink. Okay? Now I'm gonna show you latte real quick. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the same pitcher. It doesn't matter because this is only for example, right?
Enjoy it.
All right. Now, with latte,
it's like here.
what's the difference between latte and cappuccino? I use more milk, right? Because I'm gonna froth less. So remember, more milk and less froth. All right. So I'm gonna froth less. I have more milk. I'm gonna load up my shot again, and we're gonna keep using decaf because, you know, why not? I prime. I keep the head in right under the level, right? And I'm gonna turn it on. And you hear the sound? It's a lot less than what it was with cappuccino, right? It's because we're not doing as much frothing as we would cappuccino. And it takes a little bit longer to get hot just because we're using more milk. So now that it's hot, I feel it's hot. I take my hand off, I cut it. And you see how it looks like wet paint in there? That's how you want it. Tap, tap, tap. Spin, spin, spin. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off my wands. Blow it out. It is kind of hot.
Yeah. I have Maxim here. Maxim.
So watch as I pour. I'm gonna pour up high. I'm gonna go around my cup.
Pizza is the large pepperoni, half plain cheese.
I'm gonna give it 2 seconds. I'm gonna go in close. All right. All right, follow through. Okay. So now that I've made these 2 drinks for you, do you have a spoon? Yep, perfect. So now that I made these 2 drinks for you, I want you to look at the froth. Okay. So cappuccino. Every sip that they take, see, it needs to be a little bit more frothy. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, but every sip that they take, you see how it's froth, froth, froth. You know, you want that for at least half of the drink. So every sip should be froth until at least half of the coffee. For latte, it's thinner. Okay, so that they get a little bit of froth, but more milk with their coffee. Makes sense, right? All right, perfect. That's pretty much it. Right? I want to see you guys at least try to froth 1 cappuccino each, just so I could do a hands-on demonstration. And at this point, we don't need videos much anymore because we took care of all the basic information.